Use your emotions, use happiness as a guide to direct you in a good direction. In today's video, I'm going to break down how happiness plays an important role in your life. We don't want to live a life of being unhappy, being mad, being angry. We want to be content. We want to be satisfied. We want to be happy with our situation. And today, I was watching a recent video and it kind of inspired me to talk about this because I believe in this 100%. And I've dealt with this on a consistent basis in my own life. And I know some of you guys have dealt with it as well. So Todd Lopez was on Graham Stephan's show, the Iced Coffee Hour, I think is what it's called, the little podcast. And he's talking about his health, wealth, love, and happiness. He talks about health is the pillar, the foundation. You got to be healthy in order to do things in life. Money is the fuel. Wealth is the fuel. The fuel that you need to get things done, to make progress in a particular space so you can provide for yourself. And then he got to happiness, and happiness is the compass that points you in the right direction. And I'm going to break down what that means, right? So a lot of you guys, and we hear this in the mental health community, and they're right about depression. Sometimes depression can be a chemical imbalance. That's 100% real. Now, depression, sadness, all these different other things, these things can also be acclimated to or be attributed to your situation in life being depressing. Whatever you're doing, it's not what you really want to do. Now, what are some possible things that you might need to change so that you can get out of this depressive state? And this is how important it is for you to understand and recognize who you are, know what you like, do what you like. But we'll get a little bit into that a little bit later in the video. So, guys, if you're trying to date something, if you're trying to find a good business partner, if you're trying to do something different, if you're from a small town or you're in a city, you might need to move different cities. You might need to move to a different state. You know what I'm saying? There's different people. Your environment plays a huge role in your emotionality, how you feel treated, how you feel respected. Do you have good connections, a good network? All these things go into your happiness. You want to be around, good people, good family, good friends. So if you're not feeling respected in the spot that you're at, if you don't feel like that you're not getting the results that you want, if you feel like you're kind of feeling stagnant in life, you're not progressing, you're going to have to switch something up at some level, right? You can't, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing but accepting a better result. You have to change something. Now, the next one goes to your social circle. This is a huge one for me. Growing up, I had a lot of innovative ideas. I had a lot of things I wanted to do. I had a very creative mind. But the people I was around, they would try to beat those ideas out of me. They didn't help me cultivate it. They didn't help me to motivate me to figure it out. They were trying to beat that out of me. They were saying negative things, right? Maybe they were doing it on purpose. Sometimes, misery loves company. Sometimes they failed at life, so they think you have to fail at life as well, right? They have a perception that since they couldn't do it, you can't do it. And since nobody else around you has done it, they think that nobody can do it. It's an impossible feat, and you can't do anything with people like that around you. You can't grow, you can't progress. You have to get away. You're gonna have to change your friend circle. Otherwise, with the social pressures of being a human being, the social pressures that we conform to of a group, it's going to eventually contaminate you, and you're going to go into that mindset of um, negativity, of being depressed, and that goes into your depression, right? Because you're around people that aren't helping you. You're in an environment that isn't stimulating you. And this is the next one is probably the biggest one for most people that is causing depression. You are at the wrong job. You are working the wrong job. You are doing something that you absolutely cannot stand. Matter of fact, when you wake up in the morning, you're like, shh. Matter of fact, you're counting the days before the weekend, that 2-day weekend. You're waiting for that 2-day break because you absolutely cannot stand your job. And you're going to have to switch jobs. Now, I'm going to go into, this leads into my next thing. I'm going to go into what people say when they say don't follow your happiness, because this is an understanding that you need to have. These people are actually thinking logical, but you're kind of missing a little nuance from it. This is kind of something that they kind of want you to piece together in the same. But once you hear that, you're kind of like, well, I got to do something I don't love all the time. And that's not the goal of that. So when people say you shouldn't follow your happiness, what they're really saying is you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit, do something that you don't love before you do something that you do love, right? So with a job, you can't quit tomorrow because you got bills, but you should be looking for a different place to work. You should be doing something doing what you want to do, building it up on the side, so that eventually it does blow up into something, so that you can quit your job and that you can start funding your lifestyle through a business or through a certain particular avenue that you love, or that you would like to, what's the right term for it? Mark up. But also, and this is also in relationships. Now, when people say, I wasn't happy. Now, most times when people say that, when they break up in relationships, they're like, hey, I was sad. I wasn't happy. Now, those people are BS. Some of those people, there's at least 50 to 60% in my estimation. I could be way off. But those percentage of people could be lying when they say, well, I wasn't happy. Well, if you weren't happy, didn't you calculate that before you got into the marriage? Didn't you calculate that 3-4 years down the road? Now, if you're genuinely unhappy, you need to get out. It is what it is. But you need to have dissected all the possible things that could go wrong, the costs, the trade-offs of a relationship, and try to work through them instead of just saying, hey, I'm not happy, and that's that. Right? A lot of these people today, they use that as an excuse. They don't actually mean it. I mean, a person that's really unhappy in a relationship is in an abusive relationship. That's an unhappy person. Emotional, physical abuse. That's a good reason for leaving the relationship, and that's going to cause you to be unhappy, and it's a valid reason for you to leave. Now, if you're just leaving because you want to have sex with a different person, that's completely and utterly ridiculous. But people do that in this society because we live in this hippie, over-sexualized culture. So, guys, use the happiness tool as a guide in your life. Don't completely negate your emotions. Your emotions can tell you the truth. As human beings, men and women, we're both highly emotional, right? As guys, women are overly emotional. They might be more emotional than us, But as men, we're just as emotional. I mean, look at football games, look at protection and provisioning. We're highly emotional as well. But use that as a guide, right? Ask yourself this question: are you unhappy? Are you unhappy with your situation? And if you are, you need to change something. So that's my video. You guys like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace.